Hello, I'm here with Jan Zetzema from all the way from Holland. Jan, we're going to talk about the Fin World Master I organized next year in Medemblik. But first thing first, I would like to know more about you, about your sailing, and how you get involved into Fin class.
Ah, Well, do you have a minute? Because that
Of
takes
course.
some time. No, it's a kind of a funny story. I sailed with Finn from my 15th until my 18th as a junior. After that, I quit it, and I came back in my 50s. That's why I have my personal sailing number 50. And well, the cause was my son. He was also sailing Finn, and he made me enthusiastic again. When my first fin was a very old one, a vlieger. A lot of people might know them, with an aluminium mast and of course an island sail. And I sailed against a devotee with a carbon, and we changed boats. I started hiking, and then in the wind shift, I almost capsized because, well, the old boats and the new boats were quite different. And that was my decision of the family to give me as my birthday present for my 50th a fin with a carbon mast and a sailing. So in Cannes, that was now about 20 years ago. So I'm 70. That's the secret, which we tell now. 20 years ago, I started sailing fin again in Cannes at the Fin Masters. That was it. And well, there was a little joke about that. There was a little, I don't know how you call it in English. We call it ontgroenen, greening. When you're a student at the first year, you have to do something stupid because you're first in the university. Well, at that time, I was a member of Sailing Club Randmeer. And when I left the beach, some guys were asking, everything okay? And don't forget your sun protection, etc. And no, everything is okay. It was light wind. And a lot of people came by. I found that very nice. And everybody was asking, all on board? Oh, well, yes, yes. But I noticed that some white, well, stuff came out of my boot, which I didn't know. It smelled, but okay, it was warm. I had my rubber on, and I thought I was really, well, stinking, say it like that. Returning from the races, all the guys asked, well, how was the day today? Well, okay. Well, did you use your sun protection? Yeah. Did you know what was in the boat? And then they told me they did some camembert in my boots before starting. Well, you know, when you start sailing and you're pressing your boots, well, the whole day was disgusting, but I couldn't find why I was smelling so. So that was my starting at the fin class again. Nice guys, by the way.
Nice guys, nice guys. So you saw the
Yeah.
class evolving. What's your overview on the class? How did you see it evolving from when you started sailing till now?
Well, I must say, I came back in a huge family. It was meeting the guys again, which I sailed against in junior, but they started again. They had a career in Star or whatever, and they came back in the Fin. And well, so the competition and the connection went on. So we have a lot of friends in Germany, England, Swiss again, and when you're on the way, and that has nothing to do with the sailing directly, but returning from an event, mostly we don't drive back in one line, but visit a Finn guy in Swiss, or my friends Hans in Switzerland, for example, or Bolo in Germany, or whatever, and which is very nice. Also, Roderick, my friend, our Dutch super legend, he lives now and then in France, and then we pass by, and well, you know, drinking a wine, talking about the races. That's, I mean, the after sailing is very important
Is that your
in the
favorite
class.
thing about, is that your favorite thing about the Fin class, the family? Because that's the most, when I ask people what's your favorite thing about the Fin class, that's the most answer that I get. I never get free pumping. I never get, some sailing bits. I always get it's a family.
Now it's well, it's a double. thing. I want to keep fit, and it's a way in keeping fit. So now I'm after 2 years, which I couldn't sail, but before and now I'm visiting 3 times a week the gym just to keep fit. But you have a goal because you want to be as good as hiking as Nicholas Heiner or Peter Pete or whatever, which I can't, but I'm trying to, and that gives me a target and to keep fit. And well, the other target is of course the race, the sailing. You enjoy it very much. I mean, on the water, you're, well, to say we are each other's enemy, and ashore, well, we drink a beer or a coffee.
And you mentioned Nicolas Heiner and Peter Piet. So before moving on to the FIN World Master, which is going to be hosted by Holland next year, what is the current situation in Holland with the FIN class?
It's huge. It's growing. It's enormous. We have around 4, say, regional fleets, and the one which is growing the most fast in the fastest way is, for instance, the Kaag sailors. The Kaag is a lake in Holland. Then you have the White House, het Witte Huis from Loosdrecht, where Martijn van Muiden is also coming. He is a member of the Royal Sailing Club there, but he sails also with the White House. Witte Huis, I must say, because I once made that mistake to introduce the president of the White House, which I meant the Witte Huis, the sailing club. Of course, Randmeer. And we have Alkmaar, which is also an area. They have around 25 boats there. With Joop Wuits, he's also a super legend. He is now, I think, 81. And always starting, and during the races he thinks, well, go on or not, but he's there, and he is really inspiring for the younger sailors. And the younger sailors, I mean, on the Dutch nationals, we have had around 70 boats, which was a record. And there were some guys who borrowed the boat of their father. The father normally sails on the lake, and they had the boat on the IJsselmeer at Medemblik, and then youngsters, we talk about 23, 24, 25, that age, and they performed very well. One became 10th, and we have a famous prize in Holland, which I can advise every organization. If you get 10th place, you get a special prize. You get the writing prize. You get a pen, special pen, and then you have to make a report about the race, which works perfectly.
Well, I was about to say that in Holland, there's some young guys now approaching the Fin. There's, of course, Short, who has been sailing the Fin for some years now, but there are also some new faces, and they showed up in Aarhus, for example.
Yeah. They are coming. And the good thing is, of course, that a lot of families have sons, and they are mixing boats, and now and then buying another boat. So, which is also here we are trying in Medemblik to make a family competition for father-son. For instance, at this moment Nicholas is not that age yet. But in the Dutch nationals 3 years ago, we had really a family competition between the family Barends, Heiner, and the family Zetzema. So the sons sailed and the fathers sailed. Well, the Heiner family won this time. They were very good.
Well, it's time for a remake in the upcoming years.
Yeah, we try to. So also in foreign competitors, if you have a son sailing, bring him and arrange a boat or charter a boat. Be creative, because it's going to be a wonderful event. We opened, just to make just a little hint to Medemblik, we opened last week. We opened the entry, and it's astonishing at this moment when we are talking now around. So we have already around 130 entries, and that's really a record after a week I think, 8-9 days. And we expect around 350, 390 competitors, which is also a task to fill in. And I would like to ask all guys who are watching now and thinking, wow, Medemblik, that would be good. Please make your entry, because we as organization, we would like to know if you are coming. Don't wait till April or February or January. If you know I'm coming, please do your entry. Payment you can do later, but it's for us, as I said, very, very important to know who is coming. Do you bring your wife? Are you having a tent? Do you use a camper or whatever? That's just the practical thing, but it's very important.
I was about to say, so we touch your sailing career, we touch arguments like Holland and how the situation is growing, the IJsselmeer and Medemblik. And I was about to mention the Fin World Masters. The forecast was for 400 boats, which is an incredible amount. It's no surprise last year in Puntala we had, or this year in Puntala, sorry, we had 309. Can you introduce the Fin World Masters and Medemblik?
I can. The first, I mean, Medemblik is a historical place for the Fin. The first Gold Cup was in 1963. So that's a long time ago. We had a lot of European championships. We had a Fin World Master in 1971. We had a Gold Cup again in 1982. And in 2008, we had the Fin World Masters also in Medemblik. We tried to do it in 2021. Unfortunately, we know all Corona, blew it up. And, we're happy to get it, let it happen again. And that's why I think a lot of Fin sailors used to sail in their former sailing careers, also in Medemblik. They know, of course, Jack Brakenboer. Brakenboer is the most famous pub or Fin pub in Europe. And near the harbor, in the old days, you had to launch your fin next to what we call the visafslag, the fish market. And coming back from the race, you had directly the opportunity to pick up a beer. Well, that will be the same in Medemblik again, not next to Brakenboer, but next to the slipways. We also have beer, and for the ones who don't want, we also arranged beer zero alcohol, so which is in Holland also becoming very famous. So what I would say, well, there is no obstruction in coming to Medemblik.
And Medemblik, the club is a racing machine. Like you, besides the Fin class, you were hosting the World Cup. You hosted the World Cup for many, many years. It was like a focal point in sailing.
Yeah, and that's correct. And what we are very glad is that Medemblik is coming back again, also in the international scene. We had great support from Team Medemblik, which is a part of the community of Medemblik. They have a special manager on it, and he is really involved in the event. For instance, what we learned from in Spain, it was El Balis, which was also a great event, but you couldn't park your trailer there. And I had discussion with that, and they had also some issues with parking, and they had a special parking place. We arranged that also, a guarded parking place for the trailers. So not at the marina, because, well, you can imagine if you have 300 boats, you can't park your road trailer and your trolley together. That will be impossible. We also, going back to the race course, which is important to know, we have 2 race courses. They are managed by 2 very qualified international race officers who are very experienced, not only in the Fin class, but also in the other classes, also offshore races. And we have two race courses, 4 fleets. And we will arrange also splitting up and to manage that everybody has the opportunity to sail against each other. And in cooperation with the Finn Masters, with Andy Dennison and Robert Deves, we had a format to split the fleets. So that'll also be a good one. There won't be a gold and silver fleet. So everybody will sail the complete week, which is very important. And we have around 22 RIPs for safety. So that's around 20 per one RIP per 20. Press, rescue, and which is very important. We think, because it can be flat water, but it might be also with a little wind in when going up to 20 knots, which is the limit for the masters. But we want to have security then. Also, we have first aid on both starting vessels and also one RIP each. According to that, to the event at the end of November, we will send out to all Finn sailors, all sailors who are interested, also they who won't be able to join us this year, with a special article. Therefore, we have our clothing sponsor who made a special event shirt. I won't make too much advertisement for that, but just look at your email for that. And there will be another nice thing. If you are doing your entry before the 1st of February, there will be an interesting prize. Either we have a special made Finn Masters hoodie made by Code Zero, or you get 50% discount on your entry fee. So it might be wise.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal.
Yeah. I mean, only one can be the happy one, or two. So either a hoodie or 50% discount. But if you don't do an entry, well, you're sure you don't get the discount.
And what are your local tips to sail in Medemblik in June? So the Finn World Master is going to be early June. What are your local tips?
For the sailing, you mean? On the water or as a tourist?
Well, we can mention both, on the water and then as a tourist.
Okay, well, on the tourist, which is you have normally either or westerly winds or eastern winds. But, you know, because we are, the IJsselmeer is a non-tidal sheltered water. And, well, say about 50 kilometers, we have the North Sea there. On the other hand, in the eastern part, we have our neighbors, Germany. So you'll have land influence, which depends on which direction the wind is coming. We have a direct line with the guys from Schiphol Airport at that time. So every day in the morning, the sailors will be getting by an app an actual information about the weather. So I can tell, of course, it's beautiful weather, beautiful sailing. Of course, that is. But the really details you get then as a competitor by the competitor's app.
And on the tourist side, so we mentioned the sailing side, so with the local tips and now what the sailors will receive every day. What are the local tips?
The local tips is that we have a good contact with the local restaurants and shops and whatsoever, because, having 350 Finns as guests, plus partners, plus volunteers, brings us to, a nice thing, the Finn Fun Wednesday, Finn dinner. We called it the Finn meet and greet at Wednesday. So don't expect what you had in Ponta Ala, a tent with a lot of tables, which was, I heard, I wasn't there unfortunately, but I heard it was really a great dinner. So really compliments for that. But we try to do it different. We have different sizes of food which you can choose. It's say a party from 5:30 in the afternoon till around 10 o'clock. You can sit, you can walk, you can stand, whatever you like. Which is important, so you can socialize, you can speak to everyone, and so you don't sit for 3.5 hours next to a person on which you don't have anything to tell again after 1 hour, you know. So we really want the Finn guys to mix, and according to that, we also have contact to the restaurants, as I told. Because that's only the Wednesday, but the other days of the week, of course, everybody has to get fed also. And well, they are informed that a lot of guests are coming. And on the website of the Finn Masters, you find a lot of addresses. And it's not now, I think, practical to call all these addresses where you can go. Coming to the partners, the ladies or friends or whatever, somebody accompanying the sailors, which is also good to know. We have a program, and it's a kind of cafeteria system. So you don't have to sign in advance. The only thing we ask on the site is coming a program, and you can sign in on the moment you wish, you want. And some things will cost, some things don't, because, for instance, we have 3 ladies who have planned a program for the partners. There is a part visiting the Dutch mills. There is a visiting Hoorn, Enkhuizen on a special occasion. Of course, we also have the opportunity in Wednesday and Thursday to visit the races. You have to sign in for that, because, well, I don't hope that when 100 partners come, that 100 will say, okay, we want to join. What we will arrange is that in these 4 fleets, well, we have 4 top marks, so that will be ideal to visit and to watch. And it will be a tour of about 1.5 hours, and then change again. So we have 2 visitors boats ready for that.
So it's nearly everything set.
Almost, yes. And I must say, which we are very pleased. We are now in the side. We are supported on very large scale by a lot of sailors themselves. There are some sailors who don't have the opportunity to sail the whole week, but they said, okay, we can support for a day or 2, and which is great. Coming to the end, we have a large tent at the center of the marina, which is going to be the event tent. And there will also be the opportunity, if you want to have a coffee or a breakfast, you can sign in for that. If you want another, on the other days, the plan is that there will be served what we call a daghap, a day meal. And you have to sign in the day before. And gone is gone, you know. If they have 50 meals, if you are 51, you're too late. So you have to sign in for that. But that gives you the opportunity not to cook in your camper, or in your tent, but to eat together with each other in the Finn tent. And the opening will be there. And of course, the AGM at Wednesday morning, and following the program at Friday, we have the prize giving, of course, which always will be there in the tent. Why a tent? Well, normally it's beautiful, sunny and shining in Holland, but we are also a country, well, the sea is next to, and there the clouds are made, and now and then they are being blown over Medemblik with some rain. So would there be some rain, we have proper protection.
So you said that everything is almost ready, but it looks to me that you would be ready to host it tomorrow instead of, some 8 months,
Well, to be honest, we started ago, a year ago, which is very important. And I also must say I have a perfect team as the Finn World Masters team. It's the same team which prepared also the one which couldn't go. So we had prepared a lot of things. Some new guys came in, but I must honestly say that, well, with Chris, Hans, Ewout, and Henk Jan in our team, with Ronald and Peter Piet, as advisors. Well, everybody knows a small part and bring them together. Once I learned, it's a saying from Roy, which I learned, acting as a team, TEAM, together each achieves more.
So you've been on the sailing side and you see how events are organized. How does it feel to be on the dark side to actually organize an event?
It's nice, and well, that's a little history then. In 2008, we had, I think, a stupid rule, but we had the tally rule. You had to pick up a tally when you're on the water, and you had to bring it back. If you didn't, you were disqualified. I came ashore, and some guys directly called me, and they needed me in the organization. I forgot to bring in my tally. I was ashore. I was even talking with the the chief of the jury then, and well, because I forgot, I was disqualified. I tried to get that not done, but yeah, it was my own rule, and it was stupid. So we had a discussion about that. We will be taking a security part, but it won't exclude you. So, which is very important. And to my work, so to say, I'm very glad Maaike, the wife of a guy, Marco from the Kaag, she is offered to be, which, well, it's normally in business you have it, but she's my PA, and she's running with us through the complete event, and she is ashore. And when we are sailing, so for instance, when at 10 o'clock the baker should have delivered his bread and it isn't there, she's the one to pick it up, and I can sail.
So to wrap this interview up, are you ready for the Finn World Masters?
We are ready for it, but we are half ready because we have, well, for the quarter, because we have now, which we are very glad, 32 competitors already in the entry. But when possible, well, as I told you, as soon as we know how many people are coming, the less things have to be organized. If you know that 300 people are coming, you can reckon with that. And if we have 100 now and in April 200 again, well, that'll be a goal to solve.
For sure. Well, thank you very much, Jan, for the time for the interview, and I'll see you in Medemblik.
Okay, we'll see you then, Francisca. Bye. And guys, see you on the water before, perhaps in Naples.